with the measures that they've taken and put in place. However, we need to advise people that it's not an immediate thing. It will take time, as he said. We're looking at it taking effect as soon as probably end of April. So in as much as some people are looking at the interest rates dropping immediately, it will take time, and we're hoping that all these measures go a long way to ensure that we survive the pandemic as a country and as an economy.
You know, interesting points there. Last night, the Monetary Policy Committee had a meeting, and some of the measures that they instituted is lowering of the bank interest rates on loans by 1%. Kawera, what do you think what is the effect? What is the possible effect that we expect to feel in the coming days?
Wow, it's an open secret that times are tough, especially economically, where a majority of Kenyans live from hand to mouth. I think we already mentioned that yesterday. So 28% of bank loans being individual loans, you can tell that that's already a very huge number. So that the fact that the CBK has addressed this issue and said, you know what, we'll give you a grace period of 1 year to pay your loans, that should be a relief for Kenyans. Also, another point I picked up is that there are no charges for balance inquiry, because sometimes you just want to confirm your balance, then Bob is gone. You want to confirm your balance, then charges gone. 30 shillings. Them taking that off, I think, is also a relief to Kenyans, as well as no taxes for people earning about between 23,800 thereabout, which is the low income level. I think that's a good thing. CBK. But now the other problem will be that the ripple effect is that the government, that means hakuna pesa.
And one of the things that have been done that really caught my eye is so the National Reserve has been lowered. So the money that we keep as contingency fund, the central bank has released 35 billion into circulation just to help people get loans from these banks, and so the banks also do not suffer from a cash crunch. Because if people are not able to pay their loans on time, then that means the banks will not have any money. And that informs the decision by some of the big banks, like I think KCB has set aside, I think, 30 billion Kenya shillings, just to be able to cushion us from, if you want KCB M-Pesa, if you want...
I'm just hoping that this money is not coming out in cash.
Yeah?
I have stopped handling cash. I don't want money in my pocket. I want it on my phone, on my cards. In fact, not even on my cards, because my card, I'll have to give someone my card to handle it. And with what we're seeing Corona doing, no. Please, KCB, put it on my M-Pesa.
No. I think let's rope in Magdalene. Some of the things that have been affected are supply chains, and you see, a lot of people do not have the understanding as to why the central bank and the government really needs to put all these measures to make sure that our economy is stable. Some of the things are the disruption of supply chains. The trading partners, one of them being China and the US, have really been affected by this virus. Magdalene, tell us more about the disruption of the supply chains and what businesses can do to be able to keep up.
Well, okay, so that's how English went outside the window.
In other news,
there is no pressure here on in other news. I think one of the other things that the Law Society of Kenya has really been pushing forward to, and I know that you're really involved in this, Magdalene, just trying to follow up the stories. What did the Law Society of Kenya want? What do they want for us as Kenyans?
Well, what really caught my eye with the LSK measures is that they said that every individual has a personal relief of Kenya shillings 16,000 per month. So that means hata kama wamesema that people who earn low income, who are low income earners, from 23,000 kwenda chini, also anyone else is guaranteed 16,800 and something hapo.
Do we have the money?
So that means
to dish out 16,000.
That means, you see, no, actually, that means we are exempted of that 16,000 per year. So that means that's 1,408 per month.
All right, okay. A tax relief, yeah?
A tax relief, yes.
Amazing. Also, the Federation of Kenyan Employers. You know, it's really interesting to see that the employers are the ones who are actually pushing for their employees to be able to get some of these pay cuts, Kawera?
Because you see, the point is they're not making money themselves. Companies are not making money. So they have to find a way that it's a win-win situation for them and for their employees as well. If we can look back to the LSK mapendekezo, because you see, they are asking the government to extend the return filing of returns, taxes, that is, by an extension of 90 days. That means there's a big problem. Tax Kenya is a big issue. It's a big deal in Kenya. So for us to be given a grace period of 90 days, that's quite something. To reflect on the same, kwa banks, hakuna pesa. That is why CBK is also borrowing from the World Bank. They're asking the World Bank if you can give us a few shillings to deal with this epidemic. That will be something. The good thing is that that money is not going directly to the banks. It's going to the Ministry of Health. So if it's utilized well, I think we can fight this off fairly.
Well, I think it's been a nice thing to see that our employers, the employment sector, have gained some humanity. Over the past few years, we've always had Mwananchi complaining that our employers do not care for us, not feel the pinch for us. I like to laud them. I like to laud FKE and all employers.
I disagree with Keith for a moment there, but because I'd say it's because they have been given the directive from the government so that they do not.
Really?
No, they do not let go. They do not let go.
Yes, they do not have to.
They did, but then they actually do not have
They
to.
do not
And
have
it's amazing. The president in his address yesterday proposed that the private sector should be more involved in trying to roll out these measures, and I'm really glad that the private sector, together with the civil society, is really trying to humanize this virus at the end of the day. And these are just some of the measures that Kenya is taking. I'm really interested in looking at Africa in general, keeping in mind that the deaths in Africa are already at 40, and this is just within a few weeks. So moving forward, ordinarily, I think we expect this based on the trends on these other countries. We are expecting more deaths in the near future. How are African countries prepared, Keith?
Well, it's sad to say that we are expecting more because, as you can see,
we actually are. If you look at
we are.
trajectory, Keith, just basic statistics.
Yes,
we do not pray for doom.
We know. We're not praying for
we
doom.
look at the trends, and you see,
No.
I feel like I really need to defend my statement because Keith, no.
I get you. I understand you.
You understand where I'm coming from?
I understand where
yeah?
you're coming from. And
Good.
why I say it's sad that we who are informed are aware that it's going to get worse. And it saddens me because yesterday I took a matatu ride and I noticed people are very lax about it. We have already escalated the level of awareness, so escalated the level of alarm. But the public is still very lax. And I'd want to urge anyone watching, listening, on the street by passing me right now, please take heed. We are not at a good place. It's not, we've put it out there, it is not business as usual. We are not okay. We are going to lose so many of us if we continue being all chilled out about. A man stood in the matatu said, this is a ploy by the government and industries to make money. And I wondered, who is going to make money when we're about to lose 500,000 people? Get real, people. We need to get our act together. You're told social distance, stay away. You're told stay home, stay home.
But I'd like to say that I've seen the Kenya police stand up, actually, and I'd really commend them because this is the first time that they are standing up and not asking for something. Because
Are you sure we might not be asking for something?
Because when I was coming to work through public means, the traffic police officer alisimamisha gari na akaangalia na akauliza wasee mliosha mikono when you were entering the car, did you akaangalia if there was social distancing, there was, and he was like, okay, I commend you guys for this. And then he also tried to tell us, if it is possible, wear masks. That was like, karibu hata nitoe simu nianze kumrecord.
I think the directive by the WHO, there was a confirmation that now there's confirmation that this virus is airborne. So wearing preventive masks. Previously we have been told masks are only for the people who are unwell or medics, but at this rate, I think everyone should be encouraged to wear masks. Still on the note of Africa, Kawera, South Africa is on lockdown.
I listened to Ramaphosa give his that directive yesterday, and I was like, it was about time.
And I think we actually have it on record.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I think we have a copy.
Our analysis of the progress of the epidemic informs us that we need to urgently and dramatically escalate our response. The next few days are crucial. Without decisive action, the number of people infected will rapidly increase from a few hundred to tens of thousands, and within a few weeks to hundreds of thousands. This is extremely dangerous for a population like ours, which has a large number of people with suppressed immunity because of HIV and TB, and high levels of poverty and malnutrition. We have learned a great deal from the experience of other countries. Those countries that have acted swiftly and dramatically have been far more effective in controlling the spread of the disease. As a consequence, the National Coronavirus Command Council has decided to enforce a nationwide lockdown for 21 days with effect from midnight on Thursday, the 26th of March. This is a decisive measure to save lives of South Africans from infection and save the lives of hundreds of thousands of our people. While this measure will have a considerable impact on people's livelihoods.
You were saying something, Kawera, about Cyril Ramaphosa's lockdown directives.
You see, South Africa had 400 cases by yesterday. By now, there are about 500. And that directive to lock down the country for 21 days is good, but a bit too late. Because now he says starting from Thursday, meaning today people are still going to go around, meaning there might be new infections within that period. But I still feel hopeful for South Africa because their patient zero is actually fully recovered. That should be a good thing. Now if they contain people in their homes, then they can now be able to deal with the infections that are already there without having new infections reported. You remember saying, or rather we all have been champions of Pan-Africanism, I believe, because we say black don't crack. But this time, where is it cracking? This is not just a crack. We need to learn from the 1918 flu epidemic. I don't know if you guys have read about it, but it's about time we learned from history. A quarter of the world's population was swept off.
Yes,
so we need to take this a bit seriously.
And moving on from South Africa, Zimbabwe has recorded their first death. Sad that this person who died was actually a young person, and we are here believing that young people, we are safe.
We are all at risk, people.
This person was a journalist, and I am really glad we are practicing social distancing. I don't want anyone around me right now.
I don't want I love all of you, but I don't want to see you so close anymore. I don't want to feel the love.
The question, Tracy, will be, was he in line of duty? You know, by the virtue that it's reported that it's a journalist, and everyone is like, are you guys safe? But was he in line of duty?
I am really interested in hearing what Magdalene, as part of managerial team here, how are you protecting us guys from, you know, how are you protecting
Thrown
us?
under the bus.
How are you protecting us?
Good God. Where are the kids? Magdalene, stay at home.
Tell us, what are some of the measures that journalists have been putting in place to protect themselves and protect others as well? Because right now everyone is at home. We cannot turn off our tellies at this point.
It's true.
The citizenry depend on us to be able to relay information as we should. So tell us, how are we protecting ourselves?
Well, locally here at TV47, we have already taken measures, as you can see, where 1 meter away from each other.
Two, it's more than one.
Yes, it's more than actually 1 meter. And most of our reporters who are still going outside have protective gear with them. So I would really commend some of the local stations that I have seen who are really taking good care of their journalists who are going outside reporting, especially everyone now is talking about the COVID-19. So every story obviously is about COVID-19. So the gears have been taken. People are wearing gloves. People are wearing masks.
The sanitizers.
Sanitizers are everywhere, actually. So not only the journalists around, even the people who accompany them, the drivers and also the public transport have taken it up. Question is, if it gets to a point where we find one of our local journalists is infected with COVID-19. Is it that our measures are not that strict? Is it that the people around us, because I'd say as journalists, we're really taking good care of ourselves.
Well, Magdalene,
I don't want to think to a point, where...
Tracy, Magdalene, I think there's something that has happened today that I really have to commend from the very highest echelons of media, all the way to us practicing on the ground. Watching the CBK governor's press briefing.
Yeah.
If you notice, if anyone was keen enough to notice, we did not have anyone on the ground. It was only Willis Kantai who was conveying our messages, our queries to the CBK governor, and us getting our feedback publicly. So I feel that it's about time. I wish we had started earlier, but it's about time that as media, we stop. We love to compete. If ever you ask me, TV47 is the best media house there is. We're about to walk on everyone who has been in the industry for the last, kingdom come years. It's okay. We're coming up. We're leaving you guys in the dust. But at this point, guys, it's not competition.
Yeah.
We need to align. We need to know that we can only send, if we're having a press briefing by so-and-so, let's send one company in and let's share the feed, because all we want to do at this point is keep Kenyans safe.
Yes.
We want to pass out that information and keep everyone on the same page, let everyone know that this is what is happening, this is how we're taking measures as a country, as establishments, this is what we're doing to ensure that at the end of the day, Kenya, and remember in the words of Saitoti, and our people have abused this over and over again, Kenya is bigger than any one of us.
Than every one of us. And Keith, on the same note, we have news that one of the jazz legends just succumbed to COVID-19. Keith is itching in his seat because he's an avid jazz lover.
Yes, and it saddens me, as you can see it on your screen there, Manu Dibango has succumbed to, he's a saxophonist from Congo. I grew up listening to Sunday mornings. My dad would tune into a certain local radio station. After church, that's all he'd listen to, all little one.
True.
Bridge over Congo. And this hurts me. And I remember there's a professor of mine at USIU who would always, he'd give me a ride home every day. Tuesdays, after his lecture, he'd give me a ride home. And his music was always Afro jazz. So seeing that we are losing our own, and I was trying to tweet about this before the show, dear Kenyans, do we need to start losing fellow Kenyans for us to understand we're in a bad place?
I think the message that we have been passing, I hope you're listening and you are social distancing and keeping yourselves safe.
Please take care of yourselves, friends. Take care of yourselves, brothers. I need to see you next week.
I'd actually like to see, we are told if the fish rots, it begins from the head. Eh?
True.
Yes.
And we want to see some of our leaders. What are the measures that these people are taking? I think Friday or yesterday's show we mentioned that KQ staff was taking pay cuts, and now Nandi governor and his deputy governor have actually decided to join in. And this is something, I think we have that clip where the Nandi governor announces that they will be taking pay cuts. Let's listen in.
They have agreed to take pay cuts for the months of March and April, starting with myself and the deputy governor will take a 30% pay cut, while the county secretary, the county executive committee members, and the chief officers have agreed to take a 25% pay cut for the same period of March and April. The resultant amount of money will be channeled into the emergency fund account to enable us continuously procure additional and any urgently needed medical supplies and items in response to the current emergency at hand. We are grateful to the members of the County Assembly of Nandi for approving the Nandi County Emergency Fund Act in record 1 week. This paves way for the county to seek and receive funds from all well-wishers, funds which shall be managed from the emergency fund in order to adequately respond to emergencies that will arise. So those of us in leadership at the county executive have agreed to take this pay cut of 30% by myself and the deputy governor and 25% by the county secretary, the chief officers and the county executive committees as a measure of creating more resources available to address and deal with this situation. We are also happy and excited that part of the corporations working within Nandi have expressed their willingness to support the county government.
It's really interesting to listen to some of these sentiments. At least the people who are paid the most hefty salaries have come up and said, and said because their constituents probably do not earn as much, they do not have the capacity. Magdalene, how applicable are these pay cuts that people are taking?
May I just, okay, I'm a negative person.
Are you really? You're not willing to take a pay cut?
I'm a very negative person.
I'm waiting to hear that you've taken a pay cut. As my boss, I'm waiting.
Take a pay cut.
I don't even feel that these pay cuts are going to have impact to those constituencies.
What? Why?
Because, trust me, if he's being paid around 800 Gs, and then he takes a pay cut of 100 Gs.
No, it's taken 30%.
Okay,
so if you
30,
calculate
That is
it,
a huge percentage.
Yeah, it's a huge percentage, but let's look at his county. How many people are there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Will that 30% get to faida kila mtu?
Let me tell you why I feel like that's a good move. The National Treasury did not give Nandi County money for the emergency fund. And this is because Nandi County still owes the National Treasury millions. So, by the fact that the governor is saying, oh, serikali kuu haita come to my aid because I also have pending payments to make, let me actually take a chunk of my money, money that's supposed to be coming to me and my family, and actually use it for my people. I think that's a good, 30% is a huge chunk. And if other leaders will do this, because hatuna hiyo pesa ya combat this virus. It's true. If everyone of us gives, okay, see Mimi. If everyone from the government can at least changa kidogo, I think we can actually combat this virus.
I think if you say it in that perspective, that every leader in the Nandi constituency to do that, there might be an
But it's not just Nandi. This is a whole 47 counties.
Yes,
if I may.
Keith,
yes.
I'd like to point out that while Nandi governor is taking a pay cut, MCAs in Nairobi, in Kirinyaga, have actually approved supplementary budgets for their counties just to be able to sort pending bills, which are as a result mostly of misappropriation of funds and not having our priorities really right. Today English is going on vacation.
Tracy, you're sailing my ship for me. And as I said on this same show at the beginning, on our first show, I put it back out there. I am waiting for the August House. I am honestly waiting to hear that as the August House, from the speaker through to
the very top executive.
From the very top, I'm waiting. It would be such a sweet thing to hear for once in the Kenyan history, and August House has sat and realized that no, we have been squeezing out the Kenyan Mananchi. We have been hurting them.
That's a miracle.
I am praying, Father Lord, come upon us.
Points which really drive us and our conversation towards the costs of quarantine. Because some of these funds that these leaders are taking a pay cut to can actually be used to set up quarantine centers. Kawera, you are following up on the cost of quarantine for Kenyans who are coming back from abroad. What did you find?
The fact that Mutahi gave us a grace period to fly in and out of the country until Wednesday is scary.
Yes,
because already there are people with infections coming into the country.
Yes. Especially because imported cases are very high in other countries.
Yes, and this is what Mutahi said. You will be in a government facility at your own cost. Now, social media, I don't know how true it is, but social media, there are claims that people are being charged about 12,000 for a day, and you're quarantined for 14 days, my friend.
Where do you get
that?
But for you to be,
let's be honest.
For you to be someone who has come back from Maju,
that's a stereotype. That's a stereotype. Unaweza kuwa umetoka medical trip
Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Umetoka for research.
Sponsorship.
This one, ladies, sorry, I am not sorry.
Education.
Sorry, I am not sorry.
Keith is about to strangle us.
Sorry,
all
I am
here.
not sorry. So you're telling me education abroad. Excuse me, do you lack universities in Kenya?
Wow.
Oh, hold up. You are a
No,
privileged
you're getting
lot.
personal.
You are a privileged lot.
Unawashwa,
Guys,
unawashwa
no,
na.
just allow me to put this one out there. For you to say that you went abroad to get an education, to get Medicare, to visit, to tour, you are a privileged lot. I am
Who
sorry.
had you, Keith?
Sorry,
No,
I am not
Keith,
sorry.
when we
No,
came
let me
back,
tell you,
that
that is
is
not
what
privilege. That's
Welcome
not
home.
privilege because there are some people who have gone outside country through sponsorships,
Yes.
through well-wishers.
Still
privilege.
So if they're
Yes.
coming back to the country,
Still
you do
privilege.
not expect them
Still
to
privilege.
have
Money to
money
quarantine.
of 12,000 shillings
Still.
per night.
Still.
I think it's important, Keith, that you look at this through the eyes of, it's not about these people
It's
who
not
are
about
coming
them.
back. It's about keeping the 47 million of us, or whatever number of millions, who do not have the privilege and who do not have the resources. Because
And that
safe,
is
yes. And for us to be able to do that effectively, we must be able to have government provided quarantine solutions.
Yeah, at your
And
cost.
Kenyatta University was asked to house people who are being
Quarantinees.
quarantined. Is that a word? Is that
Quarantine.
have
That's our
invented
word.
one.
That's our word.
yeah, this quarantine.
That's our word. Quarantine.
Kawera,
Yes.
Kenyatta University is a public university. Do they have the rights to refuse?
Yes, they do. They do. And if I was sitting on that board, I'd also refuse.
Yeah.
Because the fact that we've closed, Keith is about to kill me.
I'm allowed
Listen, Keith, before you
Please.
kill me.
Yes.
The fact that this is a government institution does not mean it runs by the government. There's a whole board that is set to sit on that
All right.
board. So if we decide you cannot bring your virus to our
Could somebody
space,
please call Professor George Magoha?
that is
somebody
our
please
that is
get
our
Professor
right. You
George
see,
Magoha?
if it was not their decision to make, the government would have as well budged in
Could
and told them,
somebody
you know
please
what, we're
get
making
me
this a
Professor George
quarantine
Magoha?
area. But the fact
They have
that
the
they actually
facilities.
asked, where are the government facilities that should be catering for these people?
I don't
such
think
that
this is an
tunawapeleka
issue.
kwa
I don't think
campus.
this is an issue of facility, because reports indicate that coronavirus has a period of time that it lasts on surfaces, on clothing, on things we touch, things we use every day, and having these people on quarantine there now exposes the university students of Kenyatta University.
Who have closed
And
and
it's
gone
only
home?
a section.
No.
It will only be
Okay.
a section. You guys.
Guys, allow me.
You're thinking
allow me.
like wataingia kwa nini university yote waje huko. No, it's only a section
But they
of
have
their
access to the
premises.
entire area, Magda.
All right, guys, let me put this into perspective for you to understand why I'm genuinely upset at Kenyatta University. Whenever we close high schools and primaries for end of year, where is marking done?
Atunanga virus.
No. Hold up. Yes,
Hakuna virus.
Atunanga
Hakuna virus
virus.
at
But
that
this
time.
marking is done at schools.
Yes.
Where teachers from around the country go into different schools, take over the dorms, and live there for that period of time to undertake marking. Okay, here we are at a national level. Actually, correction. International level.
For sure.
Disaster. You're asking where are the government facilities? Excuse
Where are
me.
they?
The
Kenya School
that
of Government. There are
that's-
other places that
Referral
are used.
hospital,
referral
do you as an institution take or receive support in any way or form from the government of Kenya?
Yes,
If
they
you
do.
answer yes,
Yes,
good
they
Lord
do.
help you, we'll join in there.
Imagine, I feel yes, the both
I'm
of
sorry.
them. I know.
I can't feel bad for KU.
Hey, Kaira,
I can't feel bad for KU. Let me
Magdalene
come
is
out. It's okay.
itchy. What is biting you?
I feel that, yes, Keith is very right. If they are receiving
no.
anything from the
Any-
government,
from the very least.
we are
of
just simply okay.
education.
If
Magdalene.
I put myself in the shoes of the government right now, I'm thinking, which partners can help me out in this national
Who do I work with
challenge?
on a daily?
Who do I work with? Listen,
Okay,
you.
You don't
There
take
is
a-
the first person that will come to my mind.
You don't take a loan.
I think ultimately, it's important for the government to actually have measures, not to go washe to public
Hey, you don't
institutions.
come here with
Have a
fashion.
Listen,
listen.
tell us, we are going to quarantine you.
At
This is what
least
we
in
are
this
doing.
area.
This
not
is
fair.
the support that we are going to provide, because probably we do not have an eye into the actual deal that was being proposed to the Kenyatta University, but the likelihood that the government was not going to provide actual support on the ground.
Magdalene, Magdalene. Let me just address Magdalene.
I think we need a break. We think through.
Okay, let's calm down. Let's take a moment and calm down.
Yes, we need a moment.
We are giving Keith and Magdalene time to rethink their answers.
We will be back right after this break. Really heated up discussion here. I'm really glad we are getting into into the really hot stuff. And COVID-19 are behind us. Other things are actually happening in the country right now. And just to look at some of the things that are happening, Okia Omtata. He's one of those people, I don't know, ni vile tu kuna COVID-19. I think I would give him a hug if we ever met up somewhere. So he decided he's going to sue the KEBS chair and the KEBS CEO for actually not being qualified for these positions. And in the era where we are seeing fake sanitizers, ethanol was just seized, yeah, for just because people are bringing in counterfeit goods. Keith, Okia Omtata, he's your best friend.
Oh no. Okia Omtata, I respect the man because at any time you hear a news statement starting with Okia Omtata, here's what you know: someone has been messing up. Someone has been slacking on the job, and now we need someone to speak up for us. And constantly he has spoken up. He has constantly flagged where things are going wrong. So, Okia Omtata, if you're saying that KEBS chair has been making a mess, I agree. And you probably know it better. That we're having fake and counterfeit products rolling around in our streets, things are not right. And at this point in time, why do we have someone who will not take the onus upon in developed countries, in countries with a sense of duty. If your department was in charge of ensuring quality, and I'm speaking to you, Keb's chair, your department was in charge of ensuring quality for us Kenyans, and we can see that we are having substandard products, whichever way, no matter how smart we are, no matter how witty we are, no matter how cunning we are, that substandard products are making their way into our markets, guess what? You have failed.
I think this boils down to the issue of Kenyans. We are generally very silly people. We do.
Covidiots.
Why would you knowingly, we have a pandemic that is going on? Why would you sell fake sanitizers in the market?
Like that's an issue that
capitalism. I don't know. Yeah.
This is very sad. It's very sad. Hata kama Kaira anasema ni kuhusu pesa. At the end of the day,
you use this money that you end up gaining.
I know. At the end of the day tutakuwa lockdown kila mtu.
I know.
Pesa zitaenda wapi? Hata unaweza pata hiyo sanitizer yenye umerelease fake. Itakurudia tu na wewe utaitumia na hautaweza kunini hiyo coronavirus.
And this boils down to the individual responsibility. At the end of the day, it's about me not having counterfeit goods in the market.
Tracy,
it's about
Tracy,
on
Sunday,
yes,
we're discussing something.
I get where okay is coming from. It's because these guys were not vetted through a public sitting. The then CS were Industry and Trade, which was Peter Munya, he just nominated and said, you get a job. You get a job. So now that things are going,
You get a job.
Everybody gets a job.
I think that's where the problem is coming in. If they were vetted to see that they are really qualified for this position, because there's also a conflict of interest.
For sure.
Because Bernardo Gare also owns, I think, a spare parts business. So if he's the one who is in charge of national standards of approving, then there's a conflict of interest. Because kama niko ya kampuni yangu, I'm going to tick off every box.
And it's interesting to look at these people who are in leadership positions and how they just want to benefit themselves at the expense of the ordinary Kenyans on ground. Before Parliament went on a recess due to COVID-19, MPs actually rejected a bill that was proposing that local investors are going to be awarded tenders. Tenders below 2 billion will only be awarded to 1 billion?
1 million.
1 million, yeah? Only to local investors. But no, we have foreigners now who want to come and, I don't know why as Kenyans we feel the need to, is foreign necessarily good? Why don't we lock out the market to just help the local businesses?
Tracy,
I'm supporting them.
You are?
Yeah?
Okay, that's
Okay,
strange.
let us hear her out before we stamp on her again.
Why foreigners should have more rights than the natives here
Today,
to be able to push SME businesses?
You see, a million bob is not a lot of money. Okay, not that I have it, but a million bob essentially in business is not a lot of money. So some of this, because I get their argument, one of their argument was, like the printing of election papers for a by-election will cost less than $1 million, right? But we cannot do it here in Kenya because tutaiba hizo kura. We will steal. So why don't we just take them to a foreigner?
No,
I think they make sense.
So it does make sense.
We don't even know
of capacity.
We don't even know. We don't have the know-how of some of these things.
No,
I
think we are losing it now.
Kawera, if
they are
Yes.
able and people who have this capacity, institutions with integrity in this country.
Actually,
and for us
Tracy,
to open up competition to foreign investors, while our SMEs are suffering.
Let me get to Kawira's side.
Yeah.
I support.
Whoa.
Because
really now?
yes, we may have the capacity, we may have even the knowledge, we may even know
and
everything.
Integrity.
We don't have the integrity, girl.
Okay,
And that's the problem.
Ladies,
That's the problem. We don't have integrity. If Kenya had
It is
integrity,
feeling like gender balance in the conversation.
No.
We don't have
Let's put it out there.
integrity.
Let me put it out there.
Okay.
It might be that we have been waiting for a saving grace for Kenyans to grow some discipline, to get some manners. And this saving grace might have come in the most unfortunate way, COVID-19. COVID-19 might be what tells us that you want to make money, yes, but you can't make money at the expense of your fellow Kenyans. COVID-19 what has come
as mannerless.
Yes, we are a very mannerless lot of
It's
Kenyans.
true.
Why? Let's ask ourselves. So I've been given the tender to print out ballot papers. Why am I leaking them?
Because you're a Kenyan.
Why?
No.
To what end? Whose interest have I served other than
You see,
my
now,
small
that's the
cohort of
problem.
friends?
That's the problem.
You see, the sooner we get past this mediocrity mindset, because that's what it is, a mediocrity mindset, that you're looking so much at the money of here and now, at me undercutting whomever else or getting a quick profit margin, and you're not looking at the bigger picture of who will take leadership. You see, that's what you're not seeing, that I will ensure that this person will put an extra 1 million in my account, he will become MP, MCA, governor, whatever, and then our county will never grow.
You know, we are living in interesting times, and now that foreign investors are no longer coming into the country, now that it is us who have to do these things, Magdalene,
What will we do?
integrity lacking or not, because at the end of the day, life has to move on. It's going to be, the next few months is going to be interesting to see how the Kenyan business markets are going to be responding to the gap that has now been felt because foreign investors are no longer coming in as much as we would like them to. And speaking of,
if I may,
yeah,
I think the only way that Kenya is going to move forward, now that we might not even have foreign exchange and everything foreign is cut off, I think the leaders, you can beat me later.
You probably will.
after show, we'll be
Depending.
right with
The
you.
leaders should install fear in Kenyans.
What do you mean?
Trust me, we have tried, the leaders have tried diplomatic ways, and as you can see, it's not working.
But you see, the leaders are the most mannerless of us all.
No.
They're the
If
most
they-
mannerless of us all.
Atakama, they're okay.
Because
yes,
at the end
they
of the
are.
day, if it's corruption, if it's lack of integrity, I think...
I know they lead us with that,
Yeah.
but if we are to make a difference in this time and age, we need to have fear.
Yes.
Personal
We need to have
responsibility.
fear
Personal
and
responsibility.
personal responsibility.
Yes, on that much you
Because-
can agree. Yeah.
Okay, not everyone will have personal responsibility.
Exactly.
Let's be
No,
honest.
you have a point
It's the
there.
key to success.
No, guys,
School
guys.
mottos is a primary school, guys.
People, you don't see how real it is. No, Tracy, you don't see how real it is that
Mwalimu
fear is the
Tracy.
only way that Kenyans
Fear
will
is
work.
the only way.
CS Tai Kagwe told us, people, slow down your interhuman interactions. I'm giving you the chance to be responsible on your own. And what did people do?
We disobey.
You decided to go close yourselves up in clubs. You decided, oh dear Father, we shall come to the churches.
I know.
Yes. What did he do? He did not go for the churches because that's too much work.
Yeah.
He went for the administrative officers in the area and told them, yeah, you want to let these guys run amok and have their church services. It's you will come for.
It's true.
And
For
that
sure.
instantly.
Instantly, it
Instantly,
was gone.
I went
That's
to-
the type of fear I'm
That's the
saying.
fear we need.
That's the fear the Kenyans need.
Dear Kenyans, if that is how you want us to be policed,
Then let
let
it be.
Let
it be.
COVID-19 make this a cracked whip country.
I
Actually,
think
Let
I am majorly disagreeing with you, but
It's unfortunate,
we
but that
we
is the
shall
reality.
continue with this discussion off air because if the answers are, it will never end.
It's all right.
Let's look at Kenya Airways and the fact that they have grounded the flights to the international spaces. The last flight from the US, I think, was gonna happen today. Kawera?
Yes, and they are actually giving complimentary tickets to come home. I think by now they must be sold out. Because
Yeah.
Why not? I'm getting a free ticket back home.
But are we not
But the-
importing these cases back in
No,
our
I think that's the thing. But you see, Kenya also gave other nations the chance to evacuate their,
Yes,
their
it's fair
citizens.
play.
Alright.
So it's fair play that if the other nations feel like Kenyans,
I think I have been
let
picking up-
people come back home.
I have been
I'm hoping
picking up
the government will
sentiments, yeah.
quarantine them.
No,
Maybe if
Kawera,
not,
stop
the
hoping
money that you would have
they
spent
won't.
on
They
an
won't.
air ticket, you can use it at those facilities. Just stay safe. Let
Guys,
people come
no,
back home. The
Kawera.
people who are
Magda, I
scared, being away
think-
from your family at such a time can be
Yes,
can be
and
health
that's what the
It's
CS
okay.
was pushing for. That's why the CS allowed for this, because let's be honest, it's a tough time.
true.
The whole world is going into such a squeezed time where all we're looking for is a little love. I remember the 90s song, Where's the Love? Yeah, this is where we're looking for the love. And giving guys a free chance to come back home.
Love at the
if you
cost
stay-
of our lives.
No. I think
If you
there's
get
a
us-
lot of laxity. I think
There's a
one of
lot
our-
of laxity.
one of our
Laxity.
reporters was actually at the airport, was traveling
Thank you. That's what was supposed to.
Yeah, tell
Lucy
us about
Riley.
it, Magdalene. She outlined to you the steps that the airports are taking. Do you feel like those steps were
Those
enough?
steps were inadequate, and I'm wondering why Kawera is supporting that, and she also has a story.
Wow. See, no, what Lucy Riley, hi Lucy, what Lucy talked about was a domestic flight because she traveled to the coast and it was just a question of umetoka
But do you
Kenya in the past 2 weeks? Hapana, Peter. Umetoka
But
Kenya in
they
the
should
past
be
2 weeks?
checking passports.
No,
What
Peter.
the
That's a
fuck?
domestic
Okay,
flight.
guys.
Because Kawera, if I was in Germany
I will not
last
say-
week and I'm going to travel to Mombasa, obviously I will hide the fact that I was in Germany.
Okay, yeah.
How will I tell you?
Valid point.
For me to be for me to go
So
pay
again-
12,000.
But you
Why
see,
would
there
I
was
Again,
a
it
quarantine
boils
where
down.
my
tell you that I was away and then I'll need to pay 12,000? You know?
I'll have the expense on my side. If the
Yes.
government was giving us facilities where I can easily say, hey, you guys, I probably have coronavirus.
People would
you
really
need to
misuse
quarantine
it.
me.
No, so, okay, we're going back to the point where Kenyans, as a race, as a people, do not have the self-discipline to take care of themselves and others. Going back to
Umetuchapa viboko
You
enough.
know.
You know,
in
like,
fact- in
let
fact,
us be.
there's a certain-
Address us for who we are.
I will actually be coming on show with a whip at this point. I will be cracking my whip on people because
And anybody who is not self-quarantining at home,
you're
like,
becoming
He
mediocre.
should have. He is in the wrong profession. He's like
I
Moses
know.
one Taksema. Must to say.
One of my personal favorite government officials is the clerk with CS. What's his name? I forget. Oh goodness.
What? The?
CS Interior.
Matiang'i.
Matiang'i. Yes. Matiang'i. I'm wait. Mr. Matiang'i, where have you gone to?
Actually,
We need your sober.
This is a
We need
really
your
obvious
sobriety at this
battle.
point.
I think the governor for what's this place? Machakos. Is it Machakos?
Mutua?
Motua, thank you.
Yes.
There's this one statement he said last week that just told us outright, whether you're a leader, whether you're a business person, a corporate leader, whoever you are,
It's brought us
COVID-19 doesn't give up.
Deep.
Wow.
So, if we have more governors like Motua who realize that this COVID-19 is
the ultimate
serious.
equalizer.
It's the ultimate
the
equalizer,
word.
Yeah.
and we
Equalizer.
all need to step up.
True.
Being a low-income earner, being a leader, being anyone, whoever you are, you need to step
We're on the
up
same
in
line.
whatever measures you can.
And I'm really glad that everyone is taking up their responsibility. I remember Magufuli last week told people that COVID-19 haikai haiwezi survive kwa mwili ya Yesu.
I don't know what happened with Magufuli. Magufuli, even he has always
I
been one
know,
of the
he
strongest leaders.
was
to have.
going just fine.
Very
And then all of a sudden,
All of a sudden,
He's just going through the then all of a sudden he's on the brakes like in any church. I'm like,
and from his
We are
sentiments, we
moving.
have
It's
actually
the-
experienced Catholic priests who have one of the cases, the confirmed cases in Kenya, and one of the cases that might have actually spread to that might have actually caused a spike in the number of cases in Kenya was a priest who was in the country and was able to
allowance.
maneuver and who refused to quarantine. Like, I
It's
thought,
unfortunate
How
because
do you refuse to quarantine?
like these symptoms don't show for a long time. So I think the guy was in a room for 5 days and then he's like,
I'm okay.
but
and the
people,
human
we
spirit
know
has
that-
really been ignited by this case because.
But let me tell you, I don't think it was intentional.
It may not have been
really don't think
intentional.
it was
Kawera,
But
it may
I
not
know
have been
that
At the
intentional.
end of the day, hapa si mambo na opinions.
Wow.
It's
It's
not
not-
opinions.
We're looking at the
If you
facts.
have it, you have it. Whether you were intentional about giving us, we don't care.
You have given us. at
You
the end of
already
the
gave us,
You're given-
and you have left us,
No.
and we have it.
Keith, you mentioned something very interesting the last time we were with you on this show, the human spirit. So a priest, I think in Italy, realized that he has a virus. The kits the respirator kits were not enough, and he
Yeah.
actually gave his kit to someone who is younger. You see, you have more life to live. I have lived I think the guy was
lived
72 years old. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
lived quite, and it's interesting to look at human beings being so ready to be able
to stand in for each other.
Yes,
You know, I look forward to it. It's, like I said, I hope to see the end of COVID-19. I hope sail through. At this point, we don't have an assurity. None of us has an assurity.
Truth.
So I'm hoping against hope to get there. And I want to see that on the other side, the human race will come out with more humanity. We'll care for each other a lot more.
Yeah.
As we're seeing countries, the hashtag I stand with Italy has been trending because Italy, I don't want to say they were reckless. I want to say they happened to have mismanaged.
Yeah, true.
They did not realize the severity of the situation. And as at where they are, I can't start imagining. I remember, let me give you guys a personal story. My friend is a medic. He studied medicine.
Whoa.
I remember.
Here, now you're bragging.
Kawera, I'm not giving you his number. It's okay. So yes, he studied medicine, and sometime 5th, 6th year, when they're doing practice in the field, he was at KNH, and one day he lost a 7-year-old boy.
Oh, wow.
And it hit him so hard, because I've never seen him take a toll of losing a life so badly. And he explained to me, on this one day, he had been struggling to keep this child alive. They needed an ICU respirator. There were 2 cases that demanded for a respirator. The other case got priority over his. He lost the child. And you see, that level of humanity, that level of loss, I can sympathize with what Italians are going through.
Yeah.
Because you can't understand how I was with you a moment ago. I did everything I could. It's gone.
And there's nothing
There's nothing I can do
left to do.
anymore.
And I'm really happy that at the end of the day, Kenyans are taking this in stride. Wanacheza kama wao. Memes too.
Kenyans.
Kenyans are among the happiest people in East Africa, says a report. Camera.
You know, I'd actually tribute it to memes, I think. Because with the amount of corruption in our country, with the amount of poverty levels that we're experiencing, food shortage, and we are among the happy people.
Being a Kenyan is
But you guys,
Being a Kenyan is a talent.
Kawera and Tracy, I think at the end of the day, tutacheka, but we still cry.
Yeah.
Because
Premium tears.
to me,
tears.
I see Italy, and in the next 1 month, I see Kenya. Because
No.
I think
I'm saying I started the show saying I'm a very negative person. That's what I started with.
I don't
And
think
this
negative.
let me tell you, my bad vibes have roots of why they are bad. Because
I hope this is not a premonition on
You
your
know,
end. Yeah.
I'm scared.
okay, let's just say, why aren't people stepping up? You guys.
But we are.
I think it's important.
Not
I think
everyone.
if you look
Magda
at the
has a point.
statistics associated with mental health in Kenya, I think it's important for us to keep the cheery spirit and not let
Yeah,
anything
you
break
see,
us down. Because
we
if you
might
look
cheer, yes, but
left,
we're
right,
not
and
taking up.
center, everything seems to be going downward trajectory. So at the end of the day, I think it's important for us to be able,
To make
smile at
light moments.
life moments.
Magda, you were laughing at a meme in the newsroom minutes
I
ago.
know. Imagine
Okay, guys,
life without
guys,
memes.
life
What is
moments?
life without memes?
Life without
moments,
memes
yes.
is not life. But I'd laugh at the meme, but I would just sit
Take it
down
to the
and
seriousness
yes, I
it
will
deserves.
take it
Exactly.
seriously.
That's what people are missing.
And I'll say, you guys.
Yeah, we need a
buy
balance.
masks.
We need a balance.
Yes.
For sure. I think we can agree on the need to have a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
right
the
now we are
Thank
not
you.
going to have a balance because
that's all I'll
it's
ask
time
for.
for what's trending. And if it's what's trending, memes, nini, I think Keith and Kawera can drive these ones. I think they're the most digital, tech savvy people around. So Kawera.
Tracy. Have you tried the secret messaging app?
Oh, good one.
Have
Oh,
you
good one.
kissed?
Send it
Magda,
here.
I know Magda is
Nimeuliza
tempted.
mtu by the way. I hope these
Magda,
things don't come to bite us in our
No, you see, there was a previous version of the same.
Saraha.
Saraha.
Yeah.
Yes, something like that. Please send me a secret message. I just feel like Kenyans, not generally Kenyans, the human race.
Yeah.
We just like that little
It's
gentle
cheeky.
parts.
It's-
That little part on the back. Oh,
You're doing so
good.
nice.
Oh, I love.
But
I've had a
people,
crush on you for 10 years.
but people,
Why can't
let
you
me ask
tell
you.
me that?
What are the
straight up
questions you guys
on
are
my
being
face?
asked?
Because let me tell you what I feel.
Yes.
What are you being asked? Have you tried the messaging app?
First of all,
Keith will never.
thank you, Kawera. Kawera knows me well enough. I watched you guys make a fool of yourselves with Zaraha, premium tears. You were insulted, you were bullied, you got all the
people have-
negativity.
Let me tell you.
And then, hold up, guys, hold up. And then, you like a certain animal that someone put on air at some point. Gone around, you actually fish in a fishbowl, people. You go around and come back to the same point and kubul. Wow, this is new. It did not happen to me last time.
I
did not
think
expect
it's
it.
because we are very forgetful as a people.
No, let me
It's
tell you
so
what
sad.
it is. It's like
It's
we
so
love
sad.
wearing masks.
Yeah?
Like people, because this is the time, the opportunity that people will take to tell you a bit of negativity. Try and
and
bully
a
you. If
slew
that's
of
not on the other
bullying,
extreme
yeah?
of being nice, there are two extremes. There's no middle ground. Either people
Yeah.
will tell
True.
you very nice things.
True,
Or
very
people
true.
will bully you to an
Yes.
extent that you're like, who even sent me here?
No, and
I've
then-
seen a meme. Let me tell you, Kawera. Let me tell you, Magdalene. I've seen a meme going around of a lady who opened that account or whatever it is and sent it only to her boyfriend. And
Wow.
you can guess what
Oh
happened.
my
It went
God.
out. Premium tears.
No, guys.
Let me tell you, there was also
Yeah?
a message I saw, a screenshot
Yeah?
of somebody who tried that whatever app. And what she received was disheartening.
Premium
Because she was,
tears.
she got like 5 messages of people telling her, I'm sorry I've been sleeping with your husband.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
sorry I've been sleeping with your husband. I'm so
Now, guys,
I think
here's the funny bit.
I think
might
the
not be
discussion.
necessarily
I think my discussion on
but
football
still.
might not end. So yesterday I asked you guys to send me videos of how you're spending your quarantine vacation as quarantinees. So that Kawera she has come up with
We shall talk to
awards
the team about
for another news. So you need to tag at TV47KE or my personal handle at Tracy Mokami, and we will be airing some of this feedback on Friday. So our What's Trending segment is going to be what you're doing at home and all these things that,
Bloggers, this
Yeah.
is your time. Those of you who are waiting to
Come
give
back
us...
to my channel.
Welcome back to
It's
my
your time to
channel.
shine now.
This is my stay home quarantine routine. I am waiting to see them.
Got one. Go. Go.
Oh, where is Africa located?
Africa,
Hey,
East
in East. East what?
location.
East location.
Hey, what's up? Oh, wait. Is it cool if I sanitize your hands real quick? If you don't mind.
Yeah, that's cool.